During the milk feeding period, the calf has mainly a milk diet. This is to ensure it has enough energy for growth and to stay healthy while aiding the development of its rumen. No matter what system of rearing you use, it is really important to ensure that you remember it's artificial, because we're always accelerating rumen development. The advantage of feeding milk replacer over whole milk is the consistency of the ingredients and the minimized risk of spreading disease. When seeking out the right milk replacer for you, it's important to take into account what you want to achieve with your calves. So for young calves, milk replacer proteins should be predominantly milk derived. This is because in the young calf, they can't sufficiently digest poor quality proteins like your vegetable proteins. It's important that the ingredients on the milk replacer bag are listed separately, as the ingredients are listed from most abundant to least abundant. If they are grouped together, like all the fats in the one bracket, it's difficult to ascertain the true listing of the ingredients. Using a skim-based milk replacer is choosing a milk replacer that is closer in makeup to whole milk than a whey or vegetable-based milk replacer. It allows the calf time to digest the milk as the skim forms a clot in the abomasum, just like in whole milk. Unless a full bag is being used when mixing milk replacer, it's important that the powder is weighed to be sure the right amount is allocated to each calf. Every powder can weigh differently, and even different batches of the same powder can weigh differently. Good quality, easily digested milk replacer should always be very easy to mix. In saying this, if you're mixing with colder water, it can take a little longer to dissolve. It's best to give it a chance to dissolve. Don't mix it too much, too vigorously, because this can cause it to curdle. Never add the powder to boiling water, as the protein will be denatured and won't be any good for the calves. If boiling water is being used, use cold water first and add the hotter water after the powder is introduced. Feeding the milk replacer at calf body temperature, which is 37 degrees, is most ideal. This way the calf doesn't have to use any energy adjusting the temperature of the feed to its own body temperature. If you're feeding the powder cold, it's important that it's not ice cold, as it can be too much of a shock to the calf's system and can cause stomach upsets like ulcers. The important thing is to always remember that calves thrive on consistency. So whichever temperature you choose, whether it's warm or cold, try and feed it at the same temperature every day. When feeding calves, always use clean buckets and teats, ideally washing them after every feed. Smaller groups are better, ideally less than 10 calves per group, because no matter what, calf drinking speeds will vary. It's important to be aware that the size of the calf is not actually necessarily an indication of whether the calf is a better drinker or not. It often surprises people to discover that a larger calf can be much slower than a smaller calf. Always feed your younger calves first. That way the older calves, which have been exposed to more bugs in the environment, will pose less of a risk of spreading disease and causing your younger calves to get sick. If you have any sick calves, try to keep them separate and feed them separately if possible with separate equipment.